Good day to you. I want to do a little helpful talk on keeping your sleep sound. But it does not begin at 6 p.m. Keeping your sleep sound begins at 6 a.m. This is helpful for all ages, but I want to particularly focus on those who have sleep trouble. If you begin your day early morning with catching sunrise, then your melatonin stops quickly and your chronobiological rhythm gets into kickstart what shall I say, gradually. So your growth hormone begins to rise up, insulin comes into play, and you don't, that your chronobiological rhythm doesn't get jerked up. If you delay getting up time, and after a lot of sunrise and day moves on, and when you get up, then you are suddenly jerked into getting ready for the day suddenly. So you must catch the time that melatonin is going down, having done its work in the night. We'll do more later. Having done its work in the night, you wake up, say at 5:30, catching sunrise. Then your chronobiological rhythm gets into rhythm quietly, gradually, rather than waking up suddenly at 7:30, 8:30, and then feeling you have missed the day, and that activates adrenaline, cortisol in the wrong way. So I hope that's a game starter. Then you write down what you have to do, maintaining an hourly timetable. Have a prepared timetable. It doesn't have to be a strict timetable, but every hour generally you look forward to. That is how you keep your prefrontal cortex empathic, executive, initiation, navigation, successful in conclusion, and reward motive. So every hour dopamine works for 40 minutes. Then serotonin gives a satisfactory check back. I have done many clips on this, so I'll be quick on this part. So the dopamine does for 45 minutes, salience, and keep focus, keep doing. And then serotonin looks back and says, you begin to rest, become quiet. And in that quietness, you say, I did it well, I need to improve that. It may be a book reading or anything else you do, but you have an hourly timetable set before you. So when you know what you're going to do, your executive empathic prefrontal cortex keeps working into your late 90s, even like Prince Philip. That's right, even if you don't have to look after Queen Elizabeth. If you don't have a work forward timetable, what happens is your brain shifts back to what didn't happen, and you go to the amygdala. So the work forward timetable is called top down regulation. But when you don't have a definite timetable of work progress forward, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on, and for every day for a good 12 hours a timetable, what you do is you ruminate, reminisce, and go back on what's not done, what could have been done. Then you go to the amygdala, hippocampus, hypothalamus. That is called bottom-up regulation. That's not good for you. That's not productive. That creates regret. And that's not the way you want to spend your latter years, or any year for that matter. Then write down the things you have to do, and do 4 pages of A4 sheets in 2 languages. As a habit, just write down instructions you give. You may be reading, you may be reflecting. Write down some things as much as possible. What you write in English, write down in Sinhala also, or Tamil. Then your meal times need to be regular. Today I'm not going to talk about meals really, but about the exercise and activity part of it. Everybody knows that exercise is okay, is good. What you can do is hang a cricket ball in a sock and do your tuk, and where you're doing that, have a choir mat, lanu padura, and barefooted. When you're lanu padura and barefooted, as long as you can keep your balance, that bat and tok is a good exercise. Then any time of the day, especially evening times, please don't go to the television, but do board games, card games, puzzles, even Meccano said, all that is okay. for you to recover a second childhood, as Shakespeare said. Yes. Then another thing you can do is have things on your hands active, and more frictional finger touch you have, even with tweezers, the better it is. Then another thing I have devised is, if you at home, if you can have two poles that are attached to two pillars or something, where you can put your hand like this and keep walking, and those poles should be covered with coir rope, lanu, so that you have friction and grip. And especially these days when you can't go to gymnasium and whatnot, have one made at home. It doesn't cost much. Two horizontal poles between which you walk. And if your grip, the grip is sort of, the two poles are covered with coir rope, then you can walk forward. That's better for brain grip, Not only your hands gripping, brains are gripping some signals. And then where you walk, you can either have a lanu padura between the two poles you are walking, barefooted, and it should be even, or even better, if you can get someone to dig a little, just a 2 feet wide stretch. You don't have to dig deep, just half foot, 6 inches, and fill it with sand, sea sand. Then you are walking, you have a beach experience. The sand is an amazing molecule, I believe, amazing grain, crystal. I believe God created it like that. It has a geometric shape, so as your sole of your feet touch the sand, you get the beach experience. It's very good for your brain. It delays Alzheimer. Similarly, when you write 4 pages in 2 languages, intentionally write, then you delay Alzheimer also. So you have to reduce your digital time and get an older laptop, not pixel screen. Reduce LED light any time of the day. These are things I have again and again done. And then spend your evening time also watching sunset. Then a little bit of gardening add to it. If you can keep an aquarium, if you have contact with your grandchildren, that's great. Good activity to give an active senior's life. And some of this applies to seniors, some for any age. They never use 4K TV or 8K TV. Please don't. Play classical music if you can. Play any musical instrument and sing together. If you can't play a musical instrument, have some background music and start singing, looking at lyrics. Look at a hymn book or any song sheet and sing together. Yes. Then evening time, you have to reduce LED lights. The blue light will disturb your sleep, because by 6 p.m. you have to catch the sunset, and melatonin begins to work to give you good sleep. And melatonin does its neurochemical work, and it will act on your chromaffin cells, it will act on your retina, it will act on the chromaffin cells in your sexual organs and keep them all healthy. Then it works for your memory, it cleans up your brain, the additional neurochemical transmitters are removed, and as the neurons are working, they get like little nodules like things. Or there's a system in the brain called the glymphatic system, which is ruled by the melatonin. So keep your melatonin secretion unhindered, mainly by not going to the pixel screen and LED light and the LED screen. Yes, please minimize that here. And then if you go to sleep early enough by 10:30 and try to get up at 5:30, I told you, when you establish the cycle, new research shows that obesity will not turn into diabetes, and obesity will also reduce when you catch the morning get up time early enough. You don't have to keep alarms, but make it a life habit. So don't go to sleep too late. Reading is always good. Matty molding, clay molding is excellent. Carom, bit of table tennis if you can. All those things add to your well-earned rest in the night. Yes, that's about it on that. Now I want to add some things to you. So I have told you about minimize LED lights. Now I want to get to a topic, 7 attitudes that comes from Our Father in heaven, may your name be made right in my life. So in this time when people are getting very COVID selfish, we have to consider that we belong to one Father and share whatever we can and care in whatever way. Because beyond races, beyond caste, beyond social barricades, barriers, stances, we belong to one Father. That will help us to reduce the vitriol and the grumbling and the growling that goes on in social media. So this is a good attitude to have, so that we share what we can. That's what one Father does. Secondly, your name, that is His character, is we need to know what He is like. He owns and doesn't disown. He is ready to forgive, and He includes everybody. So more you exclude, and you are getting into amygdala, bottom-up regulation, you have always bitter memories circulating. Whereas if you work with your prefrontal cortex, executive, empathic, initiation, navigation, successful and conclusion, reward, you have a reward motive inside you to work forward. Then it's at old prayer says, Thy kingdom come, which means we behave as belonging to a different order of things, not the way other people do, tit for tat, butter for fat. You kill my cat, I'll kill your dog. Not that kind of behavior. That we will have a better system of governance in our life. Otherwise, we get very angry with our local government and with our government. They didn't do this, they didn't do that. So if we feel that we have a Father in heaven that cares for us, we won't all the time blame shift, look for loopholes. We will have 5G working in us, 5G rollout. What's the 5G? Goodness, gratitude, then giving attitude, and 2 other G's. Gear up, that is you have the next thing before you lined up, and good relationships. This is what I call a 5G rollout. That's the way, that's what governs our life. It's a better life than reacting to other people and reacting to other people's errors. Then the next thing is, may your kingdom come on my patch of earth. So God gives everybody a patch of earth, which includes your children, your grandchildren, your work field, your earning capacity. You are a benefactor of that plot of earth. And there are beneficiaries who come under your beneficence. If you look at life like that, there would be always a better cause to live. There is a good shepherd, and he keeps your green pasture. He even leads you by new ventures. They are called fountains, new ventures, even at the age of 55, 65, 75. And if you survive till 99, like Prince Philip, as I said, even if you don't have a Queen Elizabeth to look after, every day, so there is a resting in a green pasture, and there is a leading into new fountains. So don't think just because you're 70 you can't pioneer something that God may ask you to pioneer. So you must always remember, those whom you guided will rule you at the end of your life. Children, those whom you have worked with, so better guide them in a way that when you are not the top dog, not the one who makes all the decisions, they will be kind to you even as they learn from you. So please keep generational cohesion, generational connectivity. So even at 70, you're relating to 50-year-olds, you're relating to 30-year-olds, you're relating to 15-year-olds. Across generations, there is a wisdom you have garnered and gathered. They will find it useful. Of course, you're not boss anymore, but they say, we have to consult him because he has good wisdom. So you will be never alone, never useless. Don't think like that. So this is about how you look after your plot of earth. The Father, the name, the Father, the name, the a sense of a better governance, the government that looks after us. Then this 4th thing that we got on to, the plot of earth, and be satisfied with it. And God still has a great harvest to get out of your life, whether you are 65, 70, 75, 80 or 85. Till your day is done and all your hours have run, there is good work to do, good sowing to do. You'll be never useless. And you can always say, oh God, give me enough strength in all my joints, in my brain, in my eyesight, in my hearing, that I'll be able to be always productive. Did you understand that? So that is about the plot of earth and that 4 generational connection. The 5th one is, give us this our daily bread, that you will always have enough provision. And when you have, it's about our daily bread, so you are not alone. You're always thinking of others, those who are directly, you're responsible for your family, and then out of your earning ability, your work ability, the Good Shepherd has made you to create livelihoods for others also. Never forget that. So in that little statement, give us this day, not my bread, give us this day our daily bread. Other thing in that statement is being sufficient is the day they are unto, sufficient is the industry of the day they are unto, sufficient is the provision of the day they are unto. So think one day at a time and be satisfied with that day. So it is said, godliness with contentment is great gain. So you have godliness, you have contentment, and you have great gain. 3 things for these years of your life: godliness, contentment, great gain. Yes. Then the 6th one is, forgive us our wrong things as we forgive others. So make forgiveness a part of your life. Don't have grudges, don't suck the bitter bulto. You go the amygdala way, you'll be ruminating and always calling back the past into the present. Even good things of the past, it's good to say thank you. So have an attitude of thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a prediction for the better thing that is going to happen to you next. That's why we give thanks. And thanksgiving brings on serotonin, and regrets brings on these endorphins, the painful feeling. Yeah, that is no good. And it takes you to the amygdala, and you imagine pain for everything. Then your sufferance threshold comes down. Let your gratitude threshold come down. That is, with simple things, you're grateful. When your sufferance threshold comes down, every little thing pricks you. That's horrible living, isn't it? Yeah. So this is about this area called forgive us our debts as you forgive those who have debts with us. That is, debts is a thing that you have a you owe me attitude. In offices we give you I owe you chit. Now we begin to write you owe me chits. Those are debts. So we release people who have debts towards us. We might even give them credit. This is the message of the cross. Father, forgive them. That is giving them credit when they are in debt. Did you understand that? So that's what Jesus did on the cross. The principle of the cross is He gave us credit that we didn't have. And He gave us credit in spite of us being bad debtors, always getting into debt in relationally with Him or with others. So don't keep anyone in relational debt. Do good to them as you would have it done unto you. Release them. That is this business of forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Be always the one who gives credit to others, appreciation, value adding, worth adding, and you get the same back. So that's that department. That's the 6th department. Then the 7th one is temptation and evil. That's the last one. Lead us not into temptation. I'm not going to dwell a lot about it. First kind of this temptation is the body. You understand that. Physical, sexual, eating too much, or consumerism. Next kind of temptation is with your eye getting at the thing you can't get. That is that. Then the 3rd kind is lifting yourself higher than what you are. Did you get the 3 kinds? The things that are bodily and carnal and physical, that's easily understood. The 2nd kind is your eye goes for the things you can't have. You want to have more than you can have. It's always a lifted up eye. That's the generational feature of this generation that's always demanding more, and you have a mode in you that your demand is always more than supply. That goes to anxiety and stress and all sorts of things. So that's the 2nd kind of temptation. 3rd kind of temptation is a religious word, but we all go through it. 3rd kind of temptation is when you lift yourself up more than you have been given to. Never go there. You lift yourself up. Never go there. Because there's only one kind of person God resists, the proud. All others He forgives and somehow makes a way. But the person who lifts himself up higher than anybody else, that will meet with God resistance. So that's the seventh department. And in the seventh department, he also taught us to say this: deliver us from the evil one. So there is an author of good, who is the good shepherd. There's an author of evil. When you go through the world, you can see there's an author of evil. Now more evidence is coming out that COVID is a virus designed in a lab. US Senate is speaking about it, and intelligence people are speaking about it. It was research funded by US CDC that are later shifted to Wuhan, so don't call it the Chinese virus. It didn't start there. And 5 Indian scientists looking at the viral platforms initially also said this is the old SARS virus, into which at a furin point is a genetic engineering term using an enzyme, at a furin point part of the HIV virus has been added. That's why it's a very wily virus. It changes all the time. It is a virus put together. It's not like any other virus that has been before. Just a piece of mRNA and a few proteins, and the main protein is the spike protein, the corona stuff, spike protein that attaches to certain receptors in the body, into those organs, and it creates a very virulent immunopathological reaction that gets through our forward defense line. That is the viciousness of this virus, that it destroys the immunity as it gets into the body. It gets inside our immune cells and stop our immune cells functioning. There's a little bit of medicine just for you to understand when we say deliver us from the evil one and deliver us from evil, how true that is. I am Dr. Lalit Mendis. My main training is in pharmacology, but I have done enough internal medicine also. My last substantive post was as head of Department of Pharmacology in the State Medical Faculty. So most of my writings are on pharmacology, but we have done enough immunology to understand this kind of virus has not been there before. They are not the old SARS-CoV-1, though they may call this SARS-CoV-2. This is not ARDS, this is not ARDS, this is not a pneumonia. What is happening is in the lung, I demonstrated this before. Let's consider this the lung. This is where the air comes in. This is the alveolus, and this is where the bloodstream flows. Consider this the bloodstream, and then where the oxygen has to get in through the alveocapillary membrane into the blood, it can't get in, and the carbon dioxide in the blood that has to come out can't come out because there's an immunological pathological process. It's a vasculopathy. The pulmonary arterioles and the capillaries are attacked by this spike protein. That's the danger. And it sets off a process. After a while, nothing can stop it. This is why early treatment is necessary. In India, I'm sending this and telling you also, in India, they use the provinces that use this treatment didn't have a nasty outbreak. Provinces that didn't use this treatment, and especially rich people who went for other drugs, are the ones who got into trouble. What India did to stop it was to give hydroxychloroquine early, and give promethazine, a drug, and to give a budesonide inhalation, that's the drug used for asthma, and to give a low dose aspirin, and of course vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc. Now you can't self-medicate yourself. If you want, I can send you this post I have done. I sent it to doctors. No self-medication. You can only ask your doctor. If someone have COVID, or you get some symptoms of it, just feeling weak in the body and like fever-like, or cough or throat trouble, you need to consult someone immediately. And sometimes you feel okay, initial thing passes off, but on the 8th day it becomes really dangerous. So this is the nature of this. Either on the 3rd day, but if you pass it on the 8th day, it has a recurrence. So you have to know this. If you want the post I made, you can send a WhatsApp to +94 77 49 59 214. Now I tell you again, you can't self-medicate yourself, but you can say, since the doctor has said this was done in India, what about us? Will you do this for me also? You can ask that from the doctor you consult. So I hope you got the 7 things. I started, of course, with getting your day adjusted so that your ears will not drag on you. You understand that every day would be a day of thanksgiving, that you will not go to rumination and bitter memories saying, would to God that I died. You don't have to live like that. So thank you for listening. Pass this clip, especially for those who are going into retirement, at 55, 65, 75. Let them not feel useless, because at 65, he has a green pasture. There's a good shepherd. He has a green pasture for you to rest, and he has new fountains through which he will lead you. Yes, now I have done some things that you can do about keeping Alzheimer out. Please follow the whole clip. Thank you for listening.